Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for this week's Hex Update Saturday for November 29th, 2014, and wow, what a week it has been. A lot of stuff has been announced, a lot of new cards have been shown, a lot of spoilers have been shown on Twitter. A lot of people, some of the streamers that had cards given to them to spoil, they've been spoiling some cards, so a lot of Set 2 has actually been spoiled or shown to us, which is really neat because I like to see the new cards. I'm sure everybody does too. But CZE here has actually gone out throughout the week and shown us some new cards in the different factions, if you want to say factions, between the dwarves, humans, and whatnot. And they started out with the humans. If you follow along on the forums at all, which some of you may not, Ben stole every day at like 9 o'clock their time. You know, he previewed some new cards, and they started out with the humans. They called it the Prismatic Humans, and they gave some humans some attention this go around here. So it should be, they're thinking it's going to be a whole lot better. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to go through all the cards that were shown on the actual forums this week here. We'll take a look at them, maybe talk about some of them, you know, and go from there. Also had a little bit of disappointment this week. We'll start this off. The Set 2, unfortunately, has been delayed by 1 week. They say that they found some problems with the set that they just weren't comfortable with, you know, getting the problem resolved and thoroughly tested. So in time for the release, so they said, hey, you know what, we're just going to delay it 7 days. Hopefully, this is the only delay we get. I'm thinking it will be. They've had a lot of time to actually do Set 2. I mean, I think they're working on art for Set 4. I think they're programming Set 2, right? Or not Set 2, Set 3. So I'm hoping this is the only delay we get, because everybody's excited for Set 2. I know I'm super excited for Set 2, and I'm sure you are too. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the Prismatic Humans here. Some of these cards I like, some of them I don't. Like this first one here, Royal Herald. Very interesting name, Royal Herald. I don't know. I think it should be a guy. I don't know. That's just me though. But anyway, 2 cost, 1 threshold to troop human warrior. When this enters play, you gain a diamond, ruby, or a sapphire. So it's kind of a threshold fixing card here. 2 costs, 2/1 card. Yeah, I think this will get some play for sure. How much? Who knows? But again, it is one of those threshold fixing cards there. Decent card. Next card here is War Prodigy. It's a 3 cost, 1 threshold, troop human warrior. It's a 2/3. And then its card text is humans you control have +2/+2 when you've met the requirements of 2 diamond threshold, 2 ruby threshold, and 2 sapphire threshold, which goes very well with this card right here. So depending on what you got going on, you know, it'll make it a lot easier to get those thresholds. And what they talked about in the actual article up here was, you know, it was very difficult to bring all 3 human types, all 3 human shards together, whether, you know, the diamond, the ruby, and the sapphire. A lot of people just do 2 because there wasn't really a big payoff, big reward for bringing all 3 of them together. And now they're trying to actually do that with cards like this, so you can actually more effectively bring all 3 of those shards together in a human deck there. So that's War Prodigy. Not a bad card. I like that one a lot. 3 cost for 2/3 for 3, and you get the +2/+2 if you have all threshold. That's a good card. I like that one. The next one here is Royal Cutblood. 3 cost, 1 threshold, 1/1, and it has Rage 1. And if you have the threshold of at least one diamond threshold, it gets Life Drain. If you have at least 1 sapphire threshold, it becomes unblockable. This one here could be pretty powerful. In draft, I think, maybe. I don't know. Especially if you get that unblockable. But I don't know, maybe it's so hard to say sometimes because it's only one health or 1 defense. So it's very easy to get rid of. You know, I mean, a Saber's Charge will get rid of it. Burn will get rid of it. Bombsmith will get rid of it. I mean, it's so easy to get rid of. If you could keep it protected for a while, maybe you could, you know, get some use out of her there with the Rage 1 and the Life Drain. But, you know, being a 3 cost might be, you know, who knows where it'll fall into play. It's just, that's a tough one there. It's nice, but I don't know. Like I said, maybe draft. Maybe it'll work really well in draft. I'm not sure about constructed. Too easy to deal with. The other card here, the other human card they show here is Town Crier. This is a 4-cost, 1 threshold sapphire, and it's very interesting. When this enters play, you draw a card for each human you control, then choose and discard 2 cards. Now it's a 4-cost 2/2 by itself, but how many cards could you draw, depending on how many humans you control? So could this be used into, I don't know if it would be used into a mill deck, you know, but because if you draw a card, throw a Twisted Fate. I'm not, you know, mill decks really aren't that popular anymore. I don't think. I don't hear people talking about them. People try to play them, and they're fun to play, but I just don't know how popular a mill deck anymore. So I'm not sure if this really actually work in a mill deck or not. Definitely, probably not a good drafting card, but you know, for a 4-cost 2/2 with the probability of drawing cards for, you know, how many humans you control, yeah, it's great. But the part I don't like is you have to discard 2 cards, which isn't a problem if you draw 4 or 5 cards and you're just like, I don't like these 2 that I drew, you discard them. So, not my favorite. Not a big fan of this one. Maybe if it was 3-cost, you know, maybe 3-cost, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Not a big fan of that one though. Next one here we have is Her Majesty Queen Grace. Now this one here kind of goes into what is it? King Gabriel. I think that's how this one actually plays in, because they say here Her Majesty Queen Grace. Her Majesty Queen Grace. That's right, Hexers. You know, we've been matching his and hers Majesty. If you thought King Gabriel's cost was just a touch too high to make the cut in your human deck, you might want to reevaluate it after this card comes out. So basically, what she's a 2-cost, 1 threshold, 1/3. And her abilities are, you can exhaust her, target human you control in your hand gets cost -1. That would be for King Gabriel, I think. And then you could also exhaust, target king, prince, or princess gets invincible this turn. So if you look at King Gabriel, let's do that real quick. Let's just take a look at King Gabriel. Let's take this off of there, and we'll go here, and we'll go here. Let's just search for King Gabriel. I'm sure. Let's take a look at him. Right here. Okay, so he is a human, so you can actually use her ability. He is a 6-cost, so if you have him in your hand, you can then exhaust her, and he gets -1 cost. So that's great, and also you can give him invincible that particular turn there. So that is pretty cool. I think that card will work out very well with him, for sure, and that's the whole idea behind it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll work. These guys obviously know what they're doing when they make these cards here. They don't just randomly throw cards out there. And I think I read somewhere or saw somewhere that the guys that are actually developing the cards did a lot of the cards for the WoW TCG. So somebody was actually saying somewhere on the threads or the forums somewhere something about they were disappointed in some of the cards, and then somebody came back and said, hey, these guys that do this are the ones that did the WoW cards, so I wouldn't worry about it, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think that'll actually help out a lot to get King Gabriel out really quick. As long as you have him, I think it'll work as long as you have him in your opening hand or you draw him really soon, but you have to have her, the quicker the better. So if you get this, you know, turn 4 or 5, maybe 6, you know, that's not really going to help out, and she's just going to be a waste then. So I think she's going to have to be in your opening hand along with King Gabriel or soon after. Let's see, the next one here. This one here is kind of cool. Lady Shimmer. 8-cost, 2 threshold, 5/5, and it says, when this enters play, create an echo of Lady Shimmer for each time she was inspired and then put them into play. This could be powerful. Definitely in constructed. So if you have an Inspire deck, granted she's 8 costs, so if you can keep those Inspires out there, you know, we got the Shield Trainer, you got the Ruby Pyromancer, you have the, I can't think of all, Sword Trainer. You know, this card here will be inspired by all of them. So if she gets inspired 2-3 times, you know, you're going to bring out 3 5/5s. I think along with her, so you'll have actually 4 cards. So she'll come out, and then she'll actually create, you know, 3 echoes here, depending on how many times she was inspired. That is really powerful. That could be like a game winner there. One hit, done. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's a really cool card. A little spendy, but again, she is a human, so you could use her to get her costs down. So these go really well together along with King Gabriel. So that's really cool. So that's the human love that they gave to set 2 there, and I think it'll work out really well. I've tried to do human decks in draft before, and I think it would work if you did it right. The time I did it, it was late at night. I don't know what the hell happened, but I drafted a human deck, and it was working out really well. We got into like game 1, and then all of a sudden, I got kicked out of the tournament. So I was never actually able to see how well that was going to work. I was really disappointed, but oh well, no big deal. So those are those human cards there, and let's go on to the next ones that they released. And this will be the What Lurks Below is what they titled this here, and it's all about, you know, tunneling. We all know that tunneling is going to be a new mechanic that comes out in set 2 here, and if you're unfamiliar with tunneling, they kind of explain it here, and it says tunneling is a secretive mechanic that allows a player to play troops without the opponent knowing what lurks below. So basically what you can do, this Underfoot Commander here, he's a 3-cost, 3/2, and you can actually play him and tunnel him. It's a basic, so you have to do it on your turn for two resources. And what'll happen is I think every turn, at the beginning of every turn of your upkeep, sorry I keep hitting my mic, he'll get a tunneling counter added to him. So when he hits three tunneling counters, he is revealed then. I believe that's how that works. So it says you can tunnel for the ability for 2 resources. If you choose tunneling, the troop will tunnel beneath the board and begin gaining tunneling counters at the start of your turns. Once the troop has counters equal to or greater than a tunneling number, it will surface and be able to attack that turn. So that's kind of cool too, because it can attack the turn that it is actually revealed. So if you play it right, you can actually get a lot of stuff to happen and be able to attack the turn that turn that they all come untunneled, and that comes into play with this excavation bot. So with Underfoot Commander, you're able to pump the rest of your tunnelers and really smash through some extra damage once they surface. Your opponent might be preparing for whatever troops may be tunneling below the surface, only to find that the troops are even bigger than what they could have hoped to handle. So the excavation bot here, he's a 4-cost, 3/2 artifact robot, and you can tunnel him for 2. I think the tunneling for 2 is a standard cost. No matter what, you can just tunnel anything that has the ability tunneling for two resources. And like this one here doesn't have to meet any threshold since it's an artifact. This one here, you have to have at least 1 wild threshold to be able to tunnel him for 2. So excavation bot here, you can tunnel him when this enters play. Choose one of your underground troops and add 2 tunneling counters to it. So what you could do with him here is you could have, you know, one card that's been tunneled for a while, like he's almost ready to appear, and you have another one that's lagging behind a little bit. You bring him into play, and then you can add the 2 tunneling counters to him, and so then maybe your next turn that comes around, they all will untunnel at the same time to be able to push through a lot of damage or really surprise your opponent there. So I think he's going to come into play a lot with the tunneling mechanic. And who knows, maybe the tunneling mechanic isn't going to be that great for a constructed play. Maybe it's going to be really good in draft. Some of you may be familiar with another game that you play with cards. There's a mechanic called Morph, and I saw that being played a lot in draft, not so much actually in constructed. So I'm just wondering if tunneling is going to be really powerful in draft, but not so much in constructed. We will see once the set actually comes out and people start playing with it. Next card they show here is Grave Nibbler. This is going to be on the blood side. It's a 2-cost, 1 threshold tunneler as well. He's a 2/2. Obviously you can tunnel him for 2, but when a troop dies, if this is underground, this becomes 4/4. That could be pretty powerful. So if you have him underground and you tunnel him for 2, he obviously has 3 tunneling counters there. You have a troop die, pull this guy out, drop him down, add 2 to him, so the next time he comes out, bam, you got a 4/4. I think tunneling is going to be powerful. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be in constructed or in draft, but. And then a card that comes out into the Sapphire Shard here is a 5-cost Subterranean Spy. 5-cost, 1 threshold. He has only 2 tunneling counters, so he's only going to be tunneled for 2 turns. When this is underground, you can see the cards in the opposing champion's hand. That could be pretty cool. I'm not sure if I like it, you know, just because I think it'd be cool to play with, but I don't think it's gonna be cool to play against, because then they can see what's in your hand, what you're doing. Luckily, it can only be tunneled for 2. So, one question I have though is if the tunneling has to come from your hand. I don't think you can tunnel a card once it's already on the board. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So hopefully that's right. I suppose, you know, if you really wanted to keep tabs on what is actually in your opponent's hand, you could lay this guy down, tunnel him. Once he reveals himself, bounce him back to your hand, and then tunnel him again just so you can keep an eye on what's going on there. I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if that'd be a good idea, because it'd get pretty expensive. You could do it for 4 turns, you know, and you could bounce him back, and he would get, you know, next time he come out would be a 7. Is that worth it? Probably not, but it is an option. I don't know. Okay, so another blood card here. We have the Moonsun Shotgun of Windajin. Very interesting name. Shogun, not shotgun. Moonsun Shogun of Windajin. Long name. Alright, he's a Shinhair rogue. He obviously looks like he's a legendary. You can tunnel him for 2. Obviously, he has Rage 2. He has 4 tunneling counters. He's a 3-cost, 3/3 troop here. His text is kind of long. And it reads, when a troop enters play under your control, if this is underground, secretly add a decoy counter to that troop. When this enters play, put each troop with a decoy counter in your graveyard into play, then remove all decoy counters from all troops you control. Interesting. So basically what happens is when a troop enters play you control, if this is underground, if Moonsun is underground, you secretly add a decoy counter to that troop. So are you trying to fool your opponent thinking that you have other things that are tunneled? You know, this would be, I would like to see how this actually plays out. It's kind of confusing, at least to me anyway. You know, I don't know. When this enters play, put each troop with a decoy counter into your graveyard, into play. Okay, so basically you're creating these troops, decoy troops, throw them in your graveyard. When he becomes untunneled, they come back into play. Like I said, I need to see how that actually plays out, see how well that works. Because he's got 4 tunneling counters, so you'd have to really, I don't know. That's gonna be a while before he actually comes out. 4 turns, depending on when you get him out. Interesting. Not sure about that one. So they say here there's 2 main ways you can capitalize on Moonsun's ability. The first is just to counter the opponent and their attempts to kill all your troops. For example, he can completely undo an opponent's extinction and then start attacking in one swoop. He can undo extinction. Yes, tunneling is immune to extinction since they are under the ground or under the board, so that's good. It's one way around extinction. Secondly, you can pair him with the Shinhair's natural inclination for sacrifice to get additional use out of each tribute. His abilities are potent with cards like Necrophage Sensei. That would be this guy. Whoa, you can't see him there. Yeah. Let's see, we can probably do this to show him. There he is. No, like this. Okay, he's gonna be useful with a guy like that. As his troop enters play, it gets permanent +1/+1 for each troop in your graveyard. Yes, gotcha. So, pretty neat there. I think I like that card. We'll see how, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. The next one we're going to be looking at here is the orcs that were revealed, and the further the week went on, the less cards they showed there, so no big deal. This is an orc. He is a 6-cost, 3-threshold, 7/3 destructive marauder. When this enters play, each champion's resources become 0/3. Would you want to play this card? I don't know. If it said, you know, each opposing champion, that would be great. But do you really want to knock your resources back down to 3? I wouldn't. Personally. Unless, I don't know. That's such a tough one there. Real tough. Not sure about that. What could you do? I think there's some things you could do around that to get your resources back up quickly, maybe quicker than the actual point. You'd have to definitely play around that card, and I don't know if that is something I would do, but that's just me. Next one is the dwarves. You know, the dwarf art here, I wasn't really impressed because it looks, I don't know, it's like this guy here, unless all the dwarves look the same. I mean, the dual wielding guns here is awesome, but his actual portrait or whatever, his face, I don't know. Anyway, he's a 4-cost, 2 threshold, 4/3 non-combat damage dealt by dwarves and artifacts you control is increased by 1. That is really cool. I like him. Anyway, his name is Samson, lead ballistics engineer. I like this card a lot, just because non-combat damage dealt by dwarves and artifacts you control is increased by 1. So non-combat damage. That would be things like, is Bombsmith a dwarf? I don't know. So, yeah. Think about the things that deal non-combat damage. So the only thing I can think of right now is if you paired Survival of the Fittest with somebody, that's non-combat damage. So if you did that with him, he would actually deal 5 instead of 4. Maybe an easy way to get rid of some bigger troops than you could have before. I don't know. Next card here, they're looking at the Shinhair. It's a 2-cost, 2 threshold blood card. Gift of Yazukan. Is that how you pronounce that? Yazukan? Would the Y be silent? And Azukan? I don't know. Azukan? Azukan? Pronounce it as you will. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a basic action. As an additional cost to play this, sacrifice 3 Shinhair. Put target Shinhair from your graveyard into play. It gets +3/+3, lethal, and life drain. Lethal is a keyword or a mechanic that is going to be new as well to Shattered Destiny. And that's basically if you hit the champion with a card that has lethal, I think they're dead. Same thing with cards. If somebody blocks your card with the card that has lethal, it's dead. So that'd be an interesting mechanic there to see how that plays out too. I'm really excited about that one. The last one that we got to deal with here, or go through, is a Friday update, and they talked about some board changes and some gameplay changes, which I'm really excited about here because this has been a request that from about day 1, ever since the game released, people have been asking, why can't the cards stack if they're the same? And lo and behold, they are going to actually start doing that. So as you can see here, the cards that are the same are going to start stacking on top of each other. And if cards are a little bit different, they won't. Now they say here that, you know, since you can see a Figgy is not stacked, that's because it's still going to use the entire board real estate. So if it doesn't need to stack, it won't. But if it can stack, it will. So as you can see in the next screenshot here, they have the player here has pumped up one of the charge bots to a 6/4, so obviously those two split out since they're not the same anymore, and then the Figgies stack, so to use as much as the real estate as it possibly can. So that'll be fun to actually play with there, because that is something that's been asked for a long time. So when you get those really big board states and the cards are about, you know, that big, this will certainly help that out. I just wonder how, you know, since they stack, they're offset stack like that, how is that going to work if you have, you know, 25 Shinhair stacked on top of each other? Is it going to be kind of a pain to get through them? You know, especially if they can all attack, how does that work? You know, a lot of things still yet to come out of that, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. The board here looks a little bit different too. In the middle, they have a star there instead of the, has that always been there? I don't pay attention enough to the actual board. It just looks different. Could just be me. Also, they're changing the chain. Instead of being on the side, they're going to put it in the middle to go across, so everything resolves left to right. No, it would be right to left. So how is that any better? Does that make sense to any of you guys? Why would they do that? Why would they put the chain in the middle? So obviously this guy, this game here, somebody played the Phoenix Guard. Is that Phoenix Guard Aeronaut? Yeah, Phoenix Guard Aeronaut. Somebody countered that. It was countered, and then somebody's going to pump up their living totem. So if they're, I don't understand why they did this. This doesn't make any sense to me. You know, if they were going to do this, why don't they flip them around, put them in reverse order, so then everything resolves from left to right? If they're going to do that for easier to read, because it's still going to resolve backwards. You know, the living totem's still going to resolve first, then counter magic. You know, I don't know. Is that easier to read? I don't think so. You tell me. What do you think? Anyway, VIP tournaments are kicking off this weekend here. They started yesterday. I have yet to enter mine. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I might. Before that whole... Okay, look at this here. This is actually something they've been working on for a while, I think, because the resources are actually still sitting over here. So this is obviously a older build we're looking at, so they've probably been working on this for a while. Anyway, next one. This card here is actually pretty cool. I like the dragon cards. I don't know if you'll actually ever be able to play a full dragon deck, you know, because they're so expensive. But anyway, this one here, I'm going to call him Zakir. That seems right to me. 6 cost, 3 threshold, 5/5 flyer, obviously. At the start of your turn, create a random Power of Zakir card and put it into your hand. Those powers are down here, and they're actually pretty neat. Let's see if we can actually see them. Stop it. Alright, this one here, Power of Zakir, Destructive Delirium? Destructive Delirium. Basic action, destroy each opposing artifact. For each opposing champion loses 4 resources and 4 of his pool. Pretty neat, I think. Next one is Power of Zakir, Glimpse of Insanity, void each non-dragon card. That's a 4 cost. The other one here is Power of Zakir, 0 cost, Flame Breath. Deal 1 damage to target champion or troop for each ruby threshold you have. Given that it's 0, that's pretty powerful, if you can get it. Who knows what the chances of these actually coming out, though, are. 1 cost, Power of Zakir, Fire Servant. Is a troop, Spirit Knight. It's got speed and Swift Strike. When this leaves play, it deals 4 damage to target champion or troop. 1 costs 4/1 with speed and Swift Strike. If you can get it, pretty good. And it's going to deal 4 damage regardless when it leaves play, if somebody kills it with any type of spell. The last one here is Power of Zakir, Eye of Zakir. Quick action, draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage to target champion or troop. Those are nice. Very powerful card. I think, I don't know. Do the dragons see a lot of play? They're just so expensive, you know. And what are the chances? Can you build a deck around random powers? You can, I suppose. Is it going to be one of them top tier decks? Probably not, because you just can't guarantee what you're going to get out of the random power. I mean, if you're banking on, you know, void each non-dragon card, you can't. You don't know when you're going to get. If you're banking on this, you can't. You don't know. You just don't know. Anyway, so those are the cards that they showed us this week on the actual forums there. I thought they were all pretty neat. Definitely can be used. Well, obviously, they can be used, but... So, really excited for set 2. I'm sure everybody is. Let's see here. What else we got? We've been going on for quite some time here. Wow. Tournament. The tournament finished up. And Habingen, right? Let's take a look. Yes, Habingen won. Congratulations to him. And second place was Death Realm, third was Ira Daughter, and fourth place was Light. And I congratulated all those guys. All the prizes were sent out. And the t-shirts have been mailed out as well. So hopefully you guys get those soon. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but we'll see. So congratulations to all those guys. And let's see, that's going to be about it for the updates there. Let's get to the winners of last week for the card picks. And then we'll get on to this week's Primal Pack opening. So the winners of last week are going to be PJ Vetter 89, Habingen, Desk, Promenes, and Rajusun. Rajensu. Those are the winners this week here. Congratulations on that. Now let's get to what you guys have all been waiting for, the Primal Pack that we're going to be opening this week. Unfortunately, since the Shattered Destiny has been delayed, next week will actually be another standard set 1 pack. So it was going to be a set 2, but what can you do about it? Nothing we can do. So, oh well. All right. Hope I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. A lot of stuff to go over today. So, anyway, here we go. Opening the Primal Pack. What are we going to get? Jadim, Eternal Guardian. I don't have him. Oh well. All right. Jadim. Good card. Eternal Guardian. Battle Beetle. Ascendant Aspirant. Eldon's Distress Signal. Surge Mechanism. Splinter of Azenthoth. How do you pronounce him? Infernal Professor. Claw of the Mountain God, Tectonic Break, Genesis Hydra, Unmerciful Tormentor, Hideous Conversion, Protectorate Defender, and Shrewd Manipulation. That is the Primal Pack for this month. It actually turned out to be a pretty good one. I don't mind Jadim. Jadim's a good card, especially Eternal Guardian. Nice. So, let me know your top 5 picks there. I'm sure everybody's going to want Eternal Guardian. It is a good card. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's not as good as it used to be. Let me know your top 5 picks in the comments. And after the video here, I'll get the cards mailed out to the previous week's winners. And we'll go from there. Legendary chest, as always, from a Primal Pack there. We'll stash that away. So other than that, if you want to let me know something other than top 5 picks for the Primal Pack, let me know in the comments down below. If you like the video, for sure, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below, and we'll have another video for you soon.